Good afternoon. Set this watch. Workout. Outdoor walk. Here we go. Okay, so it is Tuesday, July 14th. Always have to look. 2026. I didn't realize they had paved this part. We are at a trailhead that I never was at before. I mean, I parked here. I pulled in here once to look. But that's it. Alright. Let's get going here. And now that's where we're at. We are in Sturgeon, Pennsylvania, on the Panhandle Trail. Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. I've driven up here before. I never parked at this trailhead. Never actually walked on this section, so this is a new piece for me. Closest I ever came to this part was 3 years ago down in McDonald. I walked towards Sturgeon, only went a little way to that road where the Oliverio Buick is, and turned around. And back then, once you left Washington County and headed back this way towards Allegheny County, the trail wasn't paved. But now this is paved, so that's great. Now look at all this stuff here. Garden. This is nice. So the Panhandle Trail really did a good job. They paved everything, and they paved the trailheads. That's the key when you park. Contour Trail really needs to pave their trailheads. This looks like one of those book deals. Yeah, one of those little free library. Cool. This is nice, going through people's backyards. Man, it's another hot one today. Another heat wave this week. They say technically for it to be considered a heat wave, it has to be 3 consecutive days in a row with 90-degree temperature or higher. Degrees Fahrenheit, that is. And so we are on our way. Today's going to be low 90s. It's already, when I got out of the car, it was already about 90. And then a couple more days of 90s. Well, like I said, I haven't been on this, in this area since 2023. I was down in McDonald in 2024 on the Panhandle Trail, but I mean, like in Allegheny County. I figured this was just going to be crushed limestone, but no, they really did a good job. Last week, I think it was Wednesday last week, I was up in Primrose. There's mile marker 17. Notice that doesn't have that Panhandle Trail little notation on it. Let's see if it has it on the other side. No. It's kind of like the old style. Let's take a picture of that. Alternate video. Mile marker 17. Yeah. Now let's get back on this. Stay on the right. There comes a bike. Yeah, it's a hot one.
Howdy.
Hi. Boy, it's humid too. Hot and humid. Hopefully there's going to be some shade up here. It's like a sauna. Just take my time, walk it slow. Don't want to get overexerted. Here's some shade. Ah, beautiful shade. Take a break. Yeah. I was almost going to go back to that Field of Dreams between Midway and Bulger, but now I did that 2 weeks ago when we had a heat wave, and that was pretty nasty. Beautiful area, but I mean nasty temperature and humidity and everything. So I thought I'll come down here. Number one, I haven't been here before on this section, and number two, there's going to be some shade possibly, and there is. 2023, I said I was various places up here, McDonald, also down in Walker's Mill. When I was in McDonald that time, I walked back this way towards Sturgeon. I don't know, I didn't like it. The trail wasn't paved, obviously. It's like the Montour Trail, but it seemed like it was real narrow. Holy shit.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? That guy scared the crap out of me. Did not know he was coming. Okay. Well, apparently they got the funding to do this. They paved this. And the most important thing was they paved all those trailheads, and I'm so glad. Now, last week's walk and talk video, talking all about the new computer and trying to download files that I had purchased from Apple, over the years, and the fact that they're protected, DRM protected and all that. And I have so many. I mean, I don't know how many. It's got to be more than 50. Way more than 50 videos that I've purchased since 2010, when I first got Apple and iTunes and all that, till now. It's 2026. 16 years of purchasing videos off of iTunes and then now Apple TV. There's a different kind of mile marker 6 there. Not sure what that's referring to, but anyway, the thing is, like I said this last week, but over the years I had been downloading all those videos that I bought because I want to keep them for myself, and I did that, and they were fine. They were MP4s or they were M4Vs, but they were not protected, and they were fine. You can do whatever you want with them. Then at one point I needed space. I said, well, forget this download stuff. I'll just send them back up to the cloud, and I don't need them. I bought them already. Turns out that they put that protection on, and now when you download them now, you can't do anything else with those files. You got to watch them through the Apple system. But if you want to watch them somewhere else, or you want to whatever, you can't do it. It's not yours. It's like it's not yours, but it is yours. So I found a way to convert those M4V files that are DRM protected. I found a way to convert them, to remove the protection, convert them just to MP4s with no protection on them. I was so excited. I did all my videos. I downloaded them all, and I converted them all. And now what I'm in the process of doing is burning them to Blu-ray discs to really have it, to really preserve it. And I got the MP4 files saved in 2 or 3 different places. I'm pretty excited. I was able to get that done. Last week I was complaining all about, oh no, I should have saved them. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Now it turns out that for most of those movies, over the years, I liked them so much that in addition to buying them digitally, I went out and bought the actual physical discs. It was Blu-ray it was DVD a long time ago, and then it was Blu-ray, and now it's 4K. So I have most of them already on disc that I purchased a second time. It's just the fact that I don't like where Apple, all these companies are doing the same thing. Where it's like you own it, but you don't really own it because you can't play it anywhere else. You couldn't burn a disc with it, or you couldn't, screen grab stuff or whatever because of that DRM protection. Kind of ruins it. But now I circumvented that. It's all legal. It's all legal. Look, I purchased all those videos. They're mine. I found a way to convert them, and they're still mine. And they're converted. I'm gonna take a little break, man, because I'm getting really hot. I'm going 0.6 miles. Whew. Man, it's so humid out here. This is really pretty here. This reminds me of the Montour Trail. It's a lot of woods right next to the trail. We're going to do. So that way goes back to Sturgeon. There's all this cool woods and stuff. And then here comes, that way goes towards McDonald. Alright, that way goes back to Sturgeon. That way goes towards McDonald. Alright. Okay, Okay, break time's over. Let's get moving. I have to watch the way I pivot on that hip area is giving me some trouble again. I don't know, this is bothering me most of the year. Not all the time, but you think it's cleared up, it's okay, and then maybe about a month goes by and it starts to act up again. So I was saying that last week when I was in Primrose and heading towards Midway. When I turned a certain way, I said, "Oh, I feel that. It feels like a little pressure there in my hip." Well, that started it, because ever since then, every day that's gone by, it's been sore. And it turns out if you put your weight on it a certain way and pivot, it gives out. And so you're like, oh, you want to fall down. That's crazy. It's like, oh man, I'm getting old. Hi. It's reminding me of my dad now. In my old age, he had problems with his knees. Different knees. Like he would start walking, it would like give out on him. And he had a knee replacement. And then he had one that wasn't replaced, and that was giving him a lot of trouble. Even the replacement, after a few years, that was giving him trouble again. And I remember he used to go, before he had that one knee replacement, he used to go to the doctor and they'd give him a shot of cortisone. That would help him out for like a couple weeks, and then it would go back to being bad again. I'm not looking forward to anything like that. I'm hoping that this will clear up. It started last year, 2025. The more I worked on it, worked out and everything, gradually it improved. This year it seems to be worse than last year. This is pretty nice. This kind of reminds me of the Bethel branch on the Montour Trail, where it's paved and then it goes through like people's backyards here. This feels almost exactly like that, and I like it. Man, that heat. Now this looks like it might be not paved here. Or is it just covered on top with some dirt? I don't know. Okay, no, it's not paved. That's fine, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's not paved. But it's wide. I think we're coming up on that road where that Buick place is. It's a pretty decent surface right here. Alright. So here we are. There's that Oliveria Buicks down there. Straight down there. I don't think I'm going to go too much further. My leg's starting to bother me. So down that way heads towards McDonald. I've been here before. I've been all the way from McDonald up to here, to this road. Where are we at on mileage? I got 0.9. All right, that's good enough. We're going to head back. Don't want to overdo it. This is kind of what I was reminded of, or forget that. The way I was remembering it, the way I was remembering this was like this, like it's raw. Well, it seemed to me it was a little more narrow. I don't know. Anyway, we're heading back. Now see, on this side, there's a little more of that heavier gravel. That's not too good for walking on. I'm thinking, I'm trying to remember. I might have actually, I came down to that Oliveria road, but then I think I might have come on this just a little bit and turned back in 2023. Back then, I didn't have body cam, so I took pictures and video with my phone. But I probably don't have anything of this area. I'll have to go back and check. So it kind of got me on this kick of doing this, burning those DVDs or Blu-rays. It started out, I guess, a couple of weeks ago when I got my new computer and I started thinking about all these files, these video files, walks, and they're so big. And do I really have enough coverage? Like, do I save them in enough places? And the answer was no, because I had them, took them off my computer and took them off the iCloud because there was way too much, and I put them on SSD drives, and it's only in one place. I'm like, well, if anything happens to that, I'm screwed. I started thinking, okay, good. I will put them in at least another place, like another SSD drive or an HDD, but I think I should burn them to an optical disc to preserve them forever. Or, a couple hundred years or whatever it is. That's what got me started on this. So I go, okay. So first thing you got to do is you got to buy 100 gigabyte BDXL discs. It supports the M-Disc technology. And then secondly, you gotta, okay, I'm gonna have to split up all these videos. I mean, the groupings of them. That's gonna fit, and that's gonna fit on 100 gigabyte. It's going to take many, many discs. So I started working on that project. Taking these video files for each year, 2024, 2025, and so far 2026. Breaking them down in part 1, 2, 3, etc. Or each part, each group is enough it can fit on a disc. And you got to go a little less than 100 gig. You got to go like to maybe 88, which kind of sucks too. You lose some there, but anyway. So got everything all broken down. Bought the discs. Bought the player, the Blu-ray drive that can burn these. And then I started thinking, you know what? Now that I'm into this, I should get those videos off of iTunes, Apple Music. I should download them again and then burn them on disc. And that's when I try to do it, and it doesn't work because it's DRM protected. So that started me on a whole mission of figuring out how to do that. The killer is some of this stuff, you try to do it on your Mac. Certain software doesn't work on the Mac anymore. It's like it only works with old Macs, old versions of Mac OS, old versions of iTunes. Or they have Windows versions that still work. It's like, well, I don't have Windows. I haven't had Windows since I retired. But then I figured out a way to buy a virtual studio thing to enable Windows to operate on my Mac. So I did that. And then I bought the software that works on the Windows. So invested a lot of money in this stuff. The discs, the player, the software in various forms. But finally I was able to get them converted, and I got them burned. I'm burning them on disc. It takes days and days to do this. And then it's like, well, when I burn these to disc, I'm starting with the movies that I don't have discs already, that I didn't go out and buy the extra, factory movie. Then a couple I've burned, the ones I already have. Eventually I'm going to burn them all. It's more like, now it's like the principle of the thing. I got to do it because it's like, gosh darn it, I own those movies. They're mine. I don't give a shit what Apple says. In the old days, you were able to download them and do whatever you want with them. But then somewhere along the way, between 2010 and 2026, and probably like around 2015 or whenever it was, they changed their process. And the same thing is true with Amazon. I remember buying stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff on Amazon too that I bought, digital copies of movies. And in the old days, you were able to download it, do whatever you want with that MP4 file. But now it's different. You can't do anything with it, and you can't even actually see it. You see a link. You see a link to the movie, and you have to play it on a device that has the Amazon Prime software set up. So I'm fine. I mean, I'm going to be able to play all these, but it's like another story of I don't own it actually. I think I own it, but I don't own it. Now I'm going to find a way to get those converted too, because there's software out there that can convert just about anything. Like from Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon, Max, HBO Max, and all that. There's software out there that can handle it. I'm going to pursue that because I bought those videos. I bought them from 2010 all the way up to, say, like maybe last year. I bought the videos on Amazon. Probably was a dumb idea now that you think about it. But anyway, I'm going to try to get them converted. Get them converted before they change the algorithm to change the DRM protection so the software doesn't work anymore. The conversion software I have doesn't work anymore. Oh man. Let's stop right here in this shade. Whew. I mean, I know that stuff there's conversion tools that work, and it does it in high quality and everything, because you see people on eBay or even say Etsy and eCreator and all those homemade sites that people do. They make pristine copies of videos that are only available on Disney Plus or Amazon or wherever, and they sell them, and they're like 1080p quality, sometimes 4K. And you could pay somebody to buy those. You can buy those. I want to be able to convert my own stuff that I already own, that I already purchased, onto physical media, just for the principle of it. Also, what's happening is I'm watching some of these again. Once I burn them, I watch it to see if it's okay, if the burn took effect properly. I'm actually watching some of these movies that I haven't watched for a while. It's kind of interesting. The software to do this is kind of tricky, though. There can be bugs in the software that the thing crashes every now and then, or it doesn't put it in the right format so that so like when you're watching one of those Blu-rays, it's not in the right format, and it changes on your machine, your Blu-ray player. We're talking external, totally separate from the computer. We're talking about my regular home system. The other day I had one. I was watching a movie for about 20 minutes, and all of a sudden it just powers off, and a message comes on the screen. It says something about the automatic, the timer has been set to power off or whatever. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Started to freak out a little bit for a while, but then come to find out that was the way I burned a couple of these discs. Wasn't in the right format. And I thought maybe it did something permanently to my player. I went, oh no. But no, it's fine. Player's fine. It's the discs were not the right format. So I scrapped those and redid them. It's kind of a fun project. It's amazing, though, how many of these movies I already owned separately over the years. I bought them. I was just thinking of that one day. I'm like, I should get that. I should get that on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. I should just go ahead and do that, even though I already downloaded them, paid for them on iTunes.
They are fanatic. They are crazy.
Guys, listen to some talk radio. Now see that straight ahead there, that little path. Let's do this. Alright, let's run a Panhandle trail that goes towards McDonald. That way goes back to Sturgeon. This little path right here, this little slag dump, we used to call them slate dumps back then. All those kind of paths, just like that, is where we used to ride our mini bikes on. I lived in Sturgeon, PA for most of my junior high years and then all my high school years. The address was in Sturgeon, but you know, the post office box, the post office was in McDonald. So my address had McDonald, PA in it, but really I lived in Sturgeon. You know, I was sweating so bad. Look at all that sweat. When I get up here, maybe I'll go down the other direction for a little bit. This is pretty oppressive out here, man. Whew. It's like you're in a sauna. You're trying to breathe, and it's like, it is so hot, heavy, you know, so humid. That's going to be worse in the next couple of days. Yeah, see these little backyard areas here, and then there's like little footbridge to go across. It's very similar to the Bethel branch. Or even some other parts of the Montour Trail, like along Cecil Henderson Road, for example. On your way from, what's the name of that one? Trailhead. I can't remember right now, but along Cecil Henderson Road, as you're heading down towards Georgetown. This is nice. I think I'm not going to go any further. I'm just going to get in my car and get back in air conditioning. Now let's do another selfie and then we'll call it quits. Alright, there is Panhandle Trail heading towards McDonald. And then, as we pivot, there's Sturgeon. All right. Whew. Damn. I am soaked. So I've seen that restaurant advertised over the years at Valentor Restaurant and Pub. Okay. And there's another place down here, Hunter's Pizza and Catering. Alright, so we're calling it quits. A little short jaunt today on the Panhandle Trail, Sturgeon, July 14th, 2026. Signing off now. Bye-bye.